Hello and welcome Exiles to Bait or No Bait, the League Star build rating show where the rules are simple. We judge builds simply based on whether or not they are bait or they are not bait. Meaning, if they are bait, you will League Start this build and fall short of expectations, have a bad time, your wife will leave you, the credit cards will send the debt collectors after you. Let's just say you end up in prison for life. Or no bait. The League Start goes great, you win, you kill all the endgame bosses first, you get to design new uniques, you get the idea. Now let's start things off and get right into it. Now, for our first build, we have the Crackling Lance Inquisitor from CaptainLance. Now, obviously, folks, it's no surprise, this is clearly a bait. It's self-cast is trash, Crackling Lance probably garbanzo, and you're getting this information from a guy who literally had children to steal their RNG, the beginner's RNG from newborns. He's a sick, depraved man. I would not trust a word out of his mouth. You've heard it here first. This is clearly bait. Do not play this build. Alright, and next up, oh, what's that? A Mathil build? Crackling Lance Inquisitor? Crackling Lance is getting a 50% buff? That sounds amazing. And it's an Inquisitor. Whew. And not only that, it's a Mathil build. Nothing but W's. So I gotta be honest with you folks, we here at the Bait or No Bait show take our jobs very seriously, and without a doubt, this one's clearly not bait. And I mean that very sincerely, but hold on. Wait a second, hold on folks. We got a technical. A flag on the play. One of my sideline judges is communicating with me now. Yeah, that's true. Okay, you're right. The people aren't going to like that. All right, folks. He says that the build requires inhuman reflexes, godlike skill, and frankly, there's only about one person on the planet that can play it, and it's Mathil. So, unfortunately, we are actually going to have to rate this one as bait. I wanted to rate the Mathil build as not bait, but really, Mathil's the only one that could pull it off. Maybe Quinn69 on a good day, but us regular mortal human beings, no shot. That build is bait. All right, now next up, we have a Zizzarin build. Now, we could probably go ahead and rate this one as bait right off the bat based on his previous experience with Crackling Lance. We all know how that went, but wait, hold on. What's that? It's not a Zizzarin build. Oh, it's actually Pohx's build. Okay. And it's Righteous Fire. Actually, we are unbiased here at the Bait or No Bait show. Clearly, this is a good build. This build will treat you well. It will keep you safe and warm at night. You're going to have a good time. This is a no bait. No contest. Righteous Fire Inquisitor by Pohx. Obviously a clearly god tier build. This one's going in the no bait category, and I am not playing with you here. All right, now next up we have some Subtractem builds. Now, I'm going to have to ask you guys to take a close look at the thumbnail. Now, you're going to have to ask yourself, what is missing from the thumbnail? That's right, folks. Zeus, Subtractem's cat, is not in the pictures. Now, if you know anything about Zeus, you know he has like 20,000 hours in PoE. He's practically the best player in the game, and he would not consent to being in these thumbnails. And we can only assume that's because he thinks these builds are trash. So, I gotta be honest, without even looking at the builds, we can assume these are, in fact, bait. If Zeus isn't willing to be in the thumbnail, he clearly thinks these builds aren't very good, and therefore we probably shouldn't trust them either. Now, next build we have coming up here is kind of a doozy, and this one's not going to make a whole lot of sense as I'm going through with it, but trust me, it'll make sense once I bring it to the close. Now we have Explosive Arrow by both Palsteron on the left and Crouching Tuna on the right. Now, if you know anything about these build creators, first off, looking at Palsteron, you know this guy's a Squire abuser. He was using it all last league. Basically, every build he did was a Squire build. This guy has no talent when it comes to build making. He just gets carried by the Squire. So you're thinking, his build's probably going to be trash, and that's a good thought to have. But then you look at Crouching Tuna, and you know this is an upstanding, ethical build maker, nothing but GG, budget-friendly, eco-friendly, top-tier builds. And you're thinking, how could two completely contrasting build makers be making the same exact build? And I gotta be honest with you, me and the rest of my team at the Bait or No Bait team thought this didn't make any sense. So we sent in some investigators into the situation to try to look into why this would be the case, and we found out that Crouching Tuna has been reported missing in his country of origin. And you know why? Well, we're putting the pieces together, and it seems to be leading a trail of evidence that points toward Palsteron kidnapping him and then using a deep fake to promote his Explosive Arrow build. This is indeed a bait, people. Okay, I know you trust Crouching Tuna. But it's not him. It's not the real Crouching Tuna. It's just Palsteron in a deep fake costume. It's not the real deal. Please do not play this build on League Start. You will regret it. All right, now next up, we have Jungroan. Jungroan, clearly a talented player at the game, but I gotta be honest with you. We've also done some research. We had an inside guy that was reporting to us, giving us the insider information from Jungroan's build planning team. And it seems to be that Jungroan has this strategy. He's a very competitive person where he wants to win the race for the first endgame boss kills. And so his strategy is to throw out a bunch of bait builds to trick his competition into playing them. So that way he can use his secret top S tier build that he doesn't tell everybody about. And that way, in turn, has baited us all because he wants to win. He's a guy that likes to compete. I can't blame him. But folks, I can't lie to you. Those builds are bait. He's clearly got a secret build plan that he's not even showing us. All right, now next up is Tripolar Bear. He has a poison spectral helix snare. Now, if you know anything about Tripolar Bear, it's that when he makes builds that were already made by Rutu, they're good builds. This build, I have not seen Rutu previously play, so clearly this goes into the bait category. Okay, let's be honest here. If it's not a Rutu build being made by Tripolar Bear, it's probably bait. This is an original Tripolar Bear build, so therefore probably can't be trusted. All right, now next up, I love him. MBX, he's a fun guy. He does things on the more finer side of life. And to be honest, due to his usual leniencies to spend the currencies, I gotta be honest with you, none of us can afford this build. It's way out of our price range. Frankly, the act of us looking at the build is probably he's probably charging us rent on that. So please look away now. This is bait. We cannot afford that build. Now I'm getting word from the producers. We have yet another Zizzarin build coming up, so hopefully maybe he will redeem it this time. Give us something besides ED. Please don't be ED. Please don't be ED. Oh, hell yes, it's Skeleton Mages, and wait a second. Oh, it's a Ghazztv build. Okay, it's a Ghazztv build. Ghazztv makes a lot of minion builds. Skeleton Mages sound strong. You know what, folks? I gotta be honest. Right now, I'm thinking this probably isn't bait, but once again, we at the Bait or No Bait team have done some research, and we found out a reason why this is, in fact, bait. Now, you're thinking, why is this bait? Why is this bait? There's no way this is bait. It's Skeleton Mages, it's Ghazztv, minions are his thing, Skeleton Mages are strong, and here's the thing. The reason we can confirm this is bait is because we have a better Skeleton Mages build from Big Ducks himself. Not only is this man coming out swinging hard with the pink text, but he's giving us a Skeleton Mage build that clearly would crush Ghazztv's build. Now, I know what you're thinking, Ghazztv, seasoned minion build maker, there's no way Big Ducks can compete, but really, how could you even ask that question? Disrespect Big Ducks like that. Clearly, Ghazztv cannot compete with Big Ducks. So we have to mark the Ghazztv build as bait. But then again, we remember that this is indeed a minion build. So even the Big Ducks build is bait because minions are unfun, uninteresting, and frankly just lazy. But I can support it sometimes. But still bait. Now, all in all, what did we learn here, folks? There's a lot of videos we went through, a lot of the top league starters. And you're probably thinking, man, all of those were bait. And they kind of all were. They were pretty much just a bunch of bait. Except for one clearly strong, better than every other build out there. And if your memory serves you right, that is indeed Righteous Fire. Now we, at the Bait or No Bait team, we are not biased. We are not just saying Righteous Fire is the best because of some personal bias. It's because Righteous Fire is the best. Pohx is a great build creator. You cannot go wrong with Righteous Fire builds. It's really just what you should do. If you're going to choose a build in Path of Exile the League start with, you should stick to the best. You should stick to Righteous Fire. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. As always, the Bait or No Bait team works quite hard in researching this information for you, so hopefully it will help you choose a good league starter, choose Righteous Fire. Don't make that same mistake the rest of us did in not choosing Righteous Fire to start our leagues today. Thank you for watching. Till next time, Bait or No Bait show, out.